There's something that can be said about fiction and nonfiction being put together. It's been done throughout the history a few times before. Uh, the ones that come to my brain are uh, actually autobiography type stories. Maya Angelou and I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, and Richard Wright and his Black Boy. It's one of those things where it's real life, it comes together with fiction. Uh, Fiction that was intended to be fiction, but somewhere in between the lines become blurred between real life and imagination. You kind of take away the lines. You kind of take away those rigid lines that people put into place for themselves. Fiction allows you to use your imagination. Nonfiction is more made up of facts and things of that sort. So when you marry those two things, it gets real interesting. The part of Last War that is fiction is actually, you know, all of it. Really, the story started out as something that was intended to be a fiction. A man who was the smartest man on earth. That's how the story started. But, as I developed in trying to get the story together, uh, a man who's the smartest man on earth needs a worthy adversary. And it just kind of developed into the United States government. And from there, that's where the nonfiction came in. The nonfiction comes from me interviewing people because I didn't want to put in uh, too many things about him running from the government without being making it seem realistic to a certain extent. So I talked to a few people who work in the government politics, and I talked to folks in that realm. It was quite the experience. It was fun, scary sometimes too. Why 9/11? Uh, it was a situation. It was a tragedy that almost seemed that challenged uh, people. Without 9/11 happening, if I were to write that in a book, guarantee half of my readers would tell me that just doesn't seem realistic, because the Pentagon would have reacted, needs FAA would have reacted. They wouldn't have been able to pull that off, is what people would have said before it happened. But when it happened, it was like something out of Hollywood. So it seemed like an appropriate uh, event to base the book around after I got into writing it. So that's what Last War is about. September 11th. It's coming out. That's from inside the mind of the writer. So I hope you enjoy it. I look forward to hearing your feedback on the